Hello guys, welcome back to Metagrim Plays Minecraft, my vanilla Minecraft survival Let's Play. Today is going to be a little bit different of an episode. I am just getting ready for the end dragon fight, and it's going to be kind of a talky episode. I'm going to walk over to the stronghold and maybe do a little bit of caving, depends on how long the video is. I have a little story that I want to tell. But before we get to that, I want to say just, well, one thing really. I'm using a new video capture tool called DxTory. I was using Fraps before. If you're another YouTube Let's Player and you're familiar with the software. So I'm using DxTory, so I'm not sure if my video is going to look different. It's looked pretty good in the tests, so I don't know, but I don't know what it's going to look like once it's uploaded to YouTube. So I'm just going to have to try it out and hope that it works out. Okay, so before I head out and start my story, just want to show you what I've got ready. I've got a bunch of food, got a bunch of arrows. I should have another full stack of arrows there. Well, let's just make sure we have another full stack. There we go. So I've got that. I've got my new sword, which I've named Grammar, which is actually plays into the story that I'm going to tell. Knockback 2, fire aspect 2, sharpness 5. I'm not sure I actually like the knockback, but whatever. And I've got I call my power 4 bow POW. I'm gonna have a power 5 bow eventually, but I'm just calling it POW. My 2-year-old likes to say POW when he hits things or has his toys hit things or whatever. And I'm bringing along just a regular bow too for the end dragon fight for getting rid of the little tower regeneration orb thingies. I don't even know what those are called. And some building blocks, etc., etc. Actually, I should have more. I should have more building blocks. I've got cobble for days. Let me just take 2 more stacks. Actually, let's put 2 stacks in there. 2 more stacks. So never know where you're going to have to build, and I don't want to dig up end stone and use that. So in my ender chest, which I am bringing another ender chest, which is actually back at the stronghold. But in my ender chest, well, you just saw it, but I've got some instant health splash potions, some regular instant health 2 potions, some potions of swiftness. I was going to get potions of strength, but I'm not going to be smacking the ender dragon too much. Another stack of chicken, so tons of food. A bunch of wood, tons of arrows, kind of going overkill on the arrows. I probably don't need that many, but there you go. My diamonds, because I pretty much always keep my diamonds in my ender chest anyway. Some snow and some pumpkins in case I want to make snow golems, because you can throw snowballs at the regeneration orb tower thingies as well. Blaze rods, I don't really know why I brought blaze rods, but there they are in case I need them for something. And my fortune pick, which I might use if I do some caving. So, now that that's all covered, I want to get going, and I want to tell my story, and I'm going to tell it as quickly as possible, really. This is actually the second time I've recorded this, so I hope it turns out. It's a little too rambly the first time. So, I want to tell the story, which is a portion of a Icelandic saga called Volsunga Saga. Icelandic sagas are medieval stories, written stories that are based on oral tradition. I'll put some links in the description to give you some background information there. But old Icelandic stories, some of them are somewhat based on reality, but they usually have fantastical, supernatural elements to them. And the story that I want to tell, Volsunga Saga, well, I'm not going to tell the whole story. I'm just going to tell a little chunk of the story. So there was this guy there's this family called the Volsungs, and they were visited by Odin. Odin stuck a sword into the tree and said, whoever removes this sword can keep it and will gain a lot of fortune from it. And Sigmundur, the son of King Volsung, plucked it out of the tree. That should sound familiar. That is what King Arthur is based on. So Volsunga Saga, a slightly, little bit more background story. Volsunga Saga is, or the Icelandic sagas predate a lot of popular European medieval stories, such as the King Arthur tales, and a lot of them are somewhat related, like Beowulf and the Nibelungenlied are directly tied to. It's based on the same story that same oral story that Volsunga Saga is based on. So Sigmundur plucked the. Did I say Sigurd before? I meant Sigmundur. He plucked the tree out of it, and he had a lot of good fortune and awesome stories. His story is amazing, but I'm not telling his story. I'm telling his son's story. So he has a son named Sigurd. And after his son is born, Sigmundur has this great battle, and his sword is broken. Again by Odin, actually. Odin kind of breaks the sword, and that's when he says, okay, your time is up, buddy. So Sigurðr, Sigmundur dies. So what? I'm losing my train of thought. Sigurðr, hello. You're very loud. Sigurðr, I did some renovations here. Sigurðr, he has a foster father. Not really a foster father, kind of a mentor named Regin. And Regin says, well, I know that you want fame and fortune. So I can provide that to you because I know where there is a great deal of treasure, and in order to get the treasure, you are going to perform some great deeds that are going to win you a lot of honor and fortune. So he tells Sigurðr a little story about how his brother was killed by Loki and Odin, and how his other brother and his father demanded that the gods, Odin and Loki, that is, because they're gods, in case you didn't know, that they compensate them, because he was kind of killed accidentally. So they demand that they're repaid. I'm going to go back this way, actually. Oh, hello. Die. Let's see. So Odin and Loki do that. However, they curse the gold that they get in compensation to compensate Regin and his father and other brother, the one that's not dead. And they curse it. And instantly, Regin's other brother, who's named Fáfnir, turns on Regin and their father and kills their father and takes the gold and flees with it, leaving Regin with nothing but a need for vengeance. So Fáfnir afterwards, in his exile, kind of, becomes corrupted and turns into a dragon. In Norse mythology, dragons symbolize corruption and evil in a lot of ways. So he becomes a dragon. And Norse dragons are kind of like snakes. Actually, they don't have arms and legs. I'm not sure that they can fly. Some of them probably can fly. If it's convenient for the story, they can probably fly. So, Regin says, I want vengeance. So, if you could go kill this dragon for me, that would be great. And we can share the treasure. And Sigurd says, okay, that sounds great, because I want treasure and fame and fortune. So that works out well for me. So he says yes. And Sigurd has some other adventures in the meantime while he's preparing for this fight with this dragon. Which, there we go. Okay, that's the right pick. I'm not using the wrong pick. And I should use my fortune pick on that. Oh well, that's okay. So, getting back to it. So he decides that he's going to do it, and I'm leaving out some details here, and for brevity's sake. Hello. Take that. Take a power 4 job. Huh. Let's light this up. And, wow, hello. So Sigurd goes to the place where Fáfnir is. Regin knows where Fáfnir is. And Fáfnir tells him, I guess it's near where he lives. Fáfnir tells him, look, you should dig a trench. This is going to be really easy. All you have to do is dig a big trench and just dig a big trench and sit in it. And then when Fáfnir comes by, all you have to do is, how did that turn to? Huh. All you have to do is stab him, and you're good. You don't have to do anything else. So Regin says, okay, I'll do that. So he digs the trench. Then Odin comes by and says, yeah, about that. You're going to want to dig a second trench too, because Fáfnir's blood is poisonous, and you don't want it to hit you. At least while he's still living. So Sigurd says, that sounds wise, so I will do that. And so he digs a second one. Then, and he sits in the first one and waits for Fáfnir to come by. Fáfnir comes sauntering down. He's spitting poison everywhere, and because that's Norse dragons usually spit poison. I think they could breathe fire too, but poison seems to be the more common thing. Because they're corrupted and poisonous, right? Get it? Like a serpent. So, he comes by. He goes over this spot where Sigurd is, And Sigurd produces this. Well, not this Minecraft sword, but he produces a really awesome sword that Regin made for him from the shards of his father's sword, the one that Odin bequeathed him with. So, if that sounds familiar at all, like Lords of the Ringsy at all, that's where Tolkien got that idea from. Tolkien was a big fan of Norse mythology and the Icelandic sagas, and yeah, that's where he got that from. So he produces this sword called Gramr, which means anger, and he sticks Fáfnir with it. Really, really good. And Fáfnir cries out, and he knows that he's going to die. And they talk a little bit before he actually expires. And afterwards, Regin comes by, and he's dead now, so it's safe to drink his blood. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that second trench that he dug saved his life, because if he hadn't dug that trench, he would have been poisoned. So, thanks, Odin. And Regin comes by, drinks his blood, and then says, "Hey, I've got a favor to ask you. It's no big deal to you. If you could cut Fafnir's heart out and roast it, so I can eat it, that would be great, because I want to eat his heart. Because, that seems like an appropriate thing to do, right?" So, Sigurd says, "Yeah, okay, sure, why not?" And so he does. And as he's cooking the heart, you scared the hell out of me, bat. As he's cooking the heart, he tests how done it is with his thumb, and then sticks his thumb in his mouth, as you do. You like when you test something to see if it's done cooking, and it's hot, kind of. So you stick your finger in your mouth and suck on it a little bit, and then it's not hot anymore. So he does that. And as soon as he does, he can understand the language of birds. And there are birds nearby and say that, they say, "Yeah, Fafnir, he is so gonna betray Sigurd. And if Sigurd was smart, he would eat the heart for himself. Then he'd be the wisest person around, and he would kill Regin, because Regin's going to betray him anyway. And afterwards, he should go to this place, not too terribly far away, where he will meet this amazingly beautiful woman, who is also wise and is also a warrior. And he will learn a lot from her. Holy crap, look at all this. And so Sigurd says, "Well, it's either him or me." And he decapitates Regin, and he eats part of the heart, and he saves the rest for later, because it's gonna grant a lot of wisdom, and he doesn't want to waste it right now, I guess. I'm not really sure why. What's the plot device there? And so he rides to Fafnir's lair, and takes all of his. And there's a lot of there's a lot of loot there. There's a lot of treasure. There's a lot of weapons and armor and things. Well, he's already got the best sword ever, so he doesn't really care too much about that, but he does take armor, and he definitely takes the treasure. I forgot to mention another thing. How he gets his treasure is he has this horse that actually Reagan helped him find. I'm just going to lose all that gold, aren't I? Unless I do this. Oh, hello there. And, oh, shit. I don't want to go that way. I don't want to go that way. Ah, there we go. Okay, so he gets all this treasure. Oh, horse, right. So he's got this horse that Reagan helped him find that is actually Odin's horse, Sleipnir's kin. He's like his it's like his son. So he has, not only does he have the best sword ever, he's also got, well, the second best horse. I mean, you can't have Odin's horse because Odin's not going to give up his horse. But really awesome horse. So he uses the horse, and the horse, he loads up the horse and gets on it, and the horse takes off, and he's like, well, no big deal, I can carry that, no problem. And he takes it off. So he's got all this loot, and then he goes off and finds this woman. And his story continues from there. I'm gonna stop the story there, actually. And so, why did I tell the story? Well, first of all, it's one of my very favoritist stories ever. One of the some of the main reasons why it's one of my favoritist stories ever. I think I'm gonna go back down here again. Is because it's kind of like the proto story. It is. Oh, that was a dead end. That's right. I'll go this way, I guess. It's kind of a proto story. There's so many themes and things that happen in so many other stories, like I've kind of alluded to. You know, Lord of the Rings and King Arthur, the King Arthur stories, and it's you see where these stories got their inspiration from, and how different cultures kind of took those stories and ran with them further. And so I'm really interested in that. In the origins of things, the origins of words, the origins of stories, and how earlier cultures influence later ones that come after them, and what kinds of stories people long ago thought were important to tell. And this was an extremely popular story, probably one of the most popular stories in medieval times. Oops, I wanted to silk touch those, didn't I? Oops. There we go. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I have a 3/4 sleeve tattoo that's based on Volsunga Saga. It's based off. It's the central piece of it is Sigurd killing Fáfnir, and I spent a good deal of time studying the story in college for my Scandinavian languages and literature courses, and I just really think it's an amazing story. I will put some links in the description to tell you more about sagas, and if you want, you can read a synopsis, or you can even read all of Volsunga Saga online for free, because it's earlier translations of it are in the public domain. So it's kind of, kind of archaic translations, but if that's okay with you, you can read it there. I'll also put a link to a more recent translation that you can buy if you want, or you can try to find at your library, your local library. So that is all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I will do one more little thing on camera here. Actually, I'm going to cut out for just a second, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I did a little bit of preparation off camera. I took my ender chest back, got a little over a stack of iron. I fortuned the redstone that I picked up, got almost a stack of that, 23 gold. I took a bunch of coal, but I left some of it silk touched because I just didn't want to take the time to break it up. And 16, that's going to give me a lot of experience, I bet. So I've got a bunch of stuff, and I think I'm all ready to go. Picked up my ender chest, got it back to carry with me to the end, and I think that's it. So that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we will be fighting the Ender Dragon, and thanks for listening to my story. I know this is kind of a talky episode, a little bit of caving, but I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope you check it out if you enjoyed it. So, or if you'd like to read more or learn more. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. I guess there's only one thing left to do. See you on the other side.